there's an agenda here. Whether you agree with the agenda or not, that's up to you. That's your opinion. But you can't deny that there is an agenda and that they're selling it to you. They are selling you the concept that, hey, this is a good idea. Australia just passed new laws that's going to introduce digital ID for everybody in Australia. So it's happening, guys. Now, I'm recording this on the 29th of May. They passed this law sometime in the month of May 2024, and they're going to implement it and make sure that everybody's registered to have a digital ID. They're planning to do that by November of 2024. Now, this is something that I think is potentially quite dangerous for our freedom, for our liberty, for our sovereignty. And I wanted to share with you, at the very least, take a look at a different perspective on this. Don't just assume that everybody has the best intentions for you. The media never lies, you know. You have to see things from a different perspective. Now, to give you a bit of context, this is a new channel, so Money Maximalist is a channel that isn't really that big yet, but I've got a pretty decent following in the Indonesian markets through our channel Mindstack. Now, from a year ago, we've been predicting that this is their next move. They're going to start getting everybody to do digital ID. They're gonna accelerate adoption by creating some kind of, whether it's a lockdown, whether it's a whatever crisis it is, but they'll have something that will trigger an event where we go, okay, we have to register, otherwise we can't trust that you're safe to go on a plane, that you're not a hacker in disguise, you know, so you have to have a digital ID. That was our prediction from about a year ago. And once they have you on digital ID, they know exactly how you behave, where you are, you know, all the things that you do, it's all out there for the government to see. Once they have you in that position, they can have something called social control. So just like how China has a social credit score, they can in effect do the same thing here, which means if you don't comply with anything your government says, if you don't take a specific procedure, which might get censored if I say what it is, you know, if you don't do certain things the way the government wants you to do it, right, then social credit score goes down, you don't have access to your money or limited access to your money, you have limited access to things like renewing your internet, etc., etc. That's exactly what happens already in countries like China. And my prediction, although this may or may not be true, it's just a prediction, it's just an opinion, is that this is their first step to do the exact same thing throughout the Western world, starting with Australia, okay? Now, I want you to see how they sell this to you, they being mainstream media, okay? So take a look at it, all right? They're gonna go, this is exactly how they do it. They go, what is a national digital ID? How do they work? They go, a digital ID system will help avoid that painful process of collecting 100 points of ID, having to scan them, get them printed. So they're trying to pass it off as, you know, this is gonna save you so much time, so much hassle. Like, can I just tell you right now, every time I want 100 points ID, it's literally just uploading a scan of my 100 points ID, which I already have on my computer. It's not that hard, you know? If the real intention was to make our lives easier, which is what they're selling us, right? My life's already pretty easy, especially if you compare with what the process is like in third world countries, in Indonesia and whatever, right? Australia has it pretty damn easy if you ask me, right? There's no need for a nationalized digital ID to make life easier in that sense. Does that make sense, right? So straight off the bat, I'm going, there's an agenda here. Whether you agree with the agenda or not, that's up to you. That's your opinion. But you can't deny that there is an agenda and that they're selling it to you. They are selling you the concept that, hey, this is a good idea. Now, for the time being, if you read the article from 9 News, they'll say, yes, it's not compulsory, blah, blah, blah. Of course, if they made it compulsory straight off the bat, then people would, you know, argue about it. So just like how, you know how China took over Hong Kong, right? So Hong Kong was a British territory, and then, you know, it became a special administrative region. And then around about 2020 or somewhere around there, China went, nope, you're part of China now, right? And so they eased their way into Hong Kong. At first, it's a voluntary thing, and then they started using force and so forth. That's pretty much how they do things. I mean, you can see this everywhere. Oh no, we're not genociding an entire nation. We're just targeting the terrorists, and there's collateral damage. A lot of collateral damage. You know what I mean? It's the language they use. Language is really, really important. If you can analyze the language and get to the core of it, what are they actually saying here, right? You'll understand that, yes, for now, it's not compulsory. But once the majority of Australians use this digital ID and adopt it, then they can start doing things like that, making things compulsory, especially if they add on to that a specific crisis, right? That, if you're not registered on a digital ID, if you can't prove a certificate that you did a certain thing to your own body that might be dangerous to you, then you're not safe to go on this plane flight. You can't travel overseas. You can't travel interstate, and so forth. I'm not saying this is going to happen. These are all conspiracy theories, right? But you can see evidence of things like this happening, not just in one country, but in many countries. So be aware of it. And so what are the solutions, you would say? Now, I've already posted solutions in the Indonesian channel, and it got censored. You can see on our Indonesian TikTok, Mindstack, right? There's one video, it earned 2.5 million views, and then it just cut off, right? And I can't show you the analytics because it's already taken down. But I remember very clearly, it was flat line. So it was like 10 grand views, 20 grand views, 30 grand views. And then there was just one day where it just went 2.5 mil and then boop, censored on that same day, right? So it went viral and got cut off at that same day. That particular video already detailed exactly what I'm personally doing to safeguard myself against an eventuality like this. I'm not sure if I can say it in as much detail here, but in general, whatever is important to you living a normal life the way you see as being normal, right? You want to make sure that you have sovereignty or full access and control to those things. So what are the things I need to be living a normal life? I need food. I need water. So having that around me that I can just pluck. I need transport, but they might limit gas. They might limit electricity. So what are my options? Is it by bike? Do I have solar panels charging my car? Do they, so it's those kinds of questions. I can't suggest anything here, but transport, food, water, right? Being in a space that if I was stuck there on lockdown, I'm still happy. Internet. You have products like Starlink, and there's probably other solutions out there that you can think of where you can have a degree of ownership over your own access. Not really ownership, but it's not tied to government control as much as other solutions, right? So those are the things you really want to be thinking about. And of course, the other thing is consider multiple passports if you can. If you're in a country that allows that, if you can do that, then that is also quite helpful too. So these are the things you could consider. Does it get into the world of conspiracy theory? That's up to you to decide. Is it too paranoid? Like, are you a paranoid person to pair all of this? The way I see it is, in the worst case scenario where shit really hits the fan, censor the word shit, I'm safe. You know what I mean? I've already prepared all this for myself and my family. In the best case scenario where it's all just a conspiracy theory and I'm totally wrong, right? I still live a very nice quality of life, being able to grow my own food, drink my own water, and so forth. It's a life that I think is quite fulfilling anyway, so there's no loss, there's no lose, there's no negative. It's just pair it and just live a nice life anyway, okay? Regardless of what happens. So that's my take on digital ID. I know it kind of traversed in all sorts of directions, but I do think it's an important one for you to at least ask questions about and then prepare for. So hopefully that resonates with you, and of course it helps if you subscribe to the channel, share it with friends, and if you want to leave a comment, we appreciate and read every comment. So see you guys next time, and here's to your success.